This is the Blade, well, yeah, Blade AH-64 Apache. Blade AH-64 Micro Heli. They don't make them anymore, unfortunately, but they are, to me, they're an absolutely beautiful scale helicopter. And I'm just kind of doing something a little different today than going out and flying. It's ice cold out, somewhere around 28 degrees, and I know that my hands not gonna last out there too long. So instead of bringing out the sport helis, I decided to bring this out. I've had it for a little while, and I felt that since there are a lot of Chinese companies and other companies are bringing these back, and these haven't been made by Blade since 2015 or 2014, somewhere around there. Again, I've always wanted one. I bought this one not long ago, and it was really cheap, really inexpensive, no cracks or anything like that. You know, in the canopy or the main body, everything seemed operable. But alas, that isn't the case. I have found that it doesn't fly well at all. I've taken it up, and it's just there's a problem with idle up 1 and idle up 2. They don't seem to make any difference from just the standard throttle, the normal at 0. It just doesn't. I can get it to hover, and I can bring it out a little bit and bring it back, but I'm not even going to try to like turn it, bringing it nose in. It just loses altitude big time. So I definitely need to go through it, and there are a lot of things I'm going to have to go through to find the culprit as to what is going on with it. But that's fine. I got it for around $120 used, and it came with a new battery, which, by the way, I have found that they do not make these batteries anymore, and they have not made this 2S 7.4 volt 400 milliamp E-flite 30C battery for a long time. They discontinued them a very long time ago, and everybody has had problems trying to find a battery to replace it. I haven't found anything on RC groups or RC Heli Freak that say, oh, hey, go get these. These work perfectly. I've seen some modifications people have made in order to fit a little larger battery in there. But to be honest, I don't want to cut this thing whatsoever. I want to keep it the way it looks right now. I don't want to do any modifications or anything like that. Please excuse all of the mess in the background on this hobby table. I'm also going to be moving very soon, so there's going to be stuff kind of piled everywhere for the moment. So please excuse the mess. This to me, with all the other helis that are coming out, all of the there seems to be a resurgence for these helis, anything military or scale size like that. Goosky had this UH-1Y or whatever the heck it's called, military Huey helicopter that looks absolutely amazing. It's expensive though. It's a little on the expensive side, around $500-600. And I've seen the performance, and the performance is amazing. It does. You can do a lot of tricks with it, and you can kick it up, into idle up 1 and idle up 2. I've seen Jeff West's video, and it's really impressive. But when it comes to these, my major thing, I'm not looking to do flips and tricks, even though this one is capable of doing some mild 3D. And when I get all the bugs worked out with it and figure out what's wrong, I'll test those to see, to make sure that that is workable. That is true. I've seen some other people using them, and there's a good one by Horizon Hobby several years ago, and it shows that it can do loops and it can do back flips, front flips, side. You can do rolls and stuff. None of that really matters to me. I just want it to look scale in the air. And my main concern with these things is right here. Focus more on this. Bring this in. Is this tail rotor? Okay, it seems like, especially with the newer ones coming out, that everybody uses a direct drive, and the problem is getting it to be silent. I love the four blades when they're spinning up, while they're spooling up, and it sounds just phenomenal. I love it. But it immediately loses the experience for me when I start hearing that buzzing of that tail rotor. They make a bzzz, really, and it gets like, it seems some of them are even more high pitched than others. I've seen like 4 or 5 different ones out there now. Beautiful looking, absolutely beautiful looking scale Apache Helis, but again, like I said, it just ruins it for me the moment I hear that direct drive tail kick in. Out of all of the ones that I've watched, all the videos I've watched, the most silent one is this. And it's kind of funny. It sounds like Blade got it the most correct their very first time. The Goose Guy is very, very quiet. I will give it that, but it's still a little bit louder than this E-flite Apache. So, but again, it's a much more powerful motor and everything else. And something I've never seen anyone do is actually put up, I honestly had no idea what to expect when it came, in the sense of the size of it. And I kind of wanted to give you guys a perspective on that as well today, because I've never seen it sitting next to another helicopter so you can get a size difference reference or whatever. And I've found, and nobody ever says anything like the size of the heli itself or anything like that, even though you can measure, you can do all that stuff, and then you can compare it to other helis. But I've never seen an actual side-by-side. So I'm going to digress back to the battery situation in a moment, but for now, I'm going to take a Goosky S1 that's right here, move this aside, put it next to it, and as you can see, going tail to tail here, and the Blade 150 is actually, I'm going to put the blades right up to get as close as possible. You can see from a top view here, it is actually much larger than the Goosky S1. So this will give you a good size reference as to the what you're looking at in the way of this heli. I'll kind of scoot it around here, get a little bit better angle, and the nose to nose, as you can see, it's much further in. These canopies never quite sit totally perfect, and there's no battery in there right now because I want to show you exactly what I found out with a battery. Sorry again for the mess in the background. Trying to get this as clean as possible for you. It always turns out to be a mess. But as you can see, it's a much, much actually larger heli. It's much wider, and it's much longer than the 150. So we'll take that out. We'll kind of move this over a little bit more. And see if I can keep this sort of in view of what I'm going to do next, as I'm going to put an OMP M2 in here for comparison. Slide that next to it. We'll just go nose to nose. And I think that's as good as we're going to get it. Maybe put a little wider out here. But as you can see, nose to nose here. How we have it. And you can see that it's very comparable in the width, but the length you can see is it's longer. The tail boom's longer. But this gives you a very, to me anyway, a good idea, and it should help you as well. If you're considering purchasing one of these, you can only find them used, and they don't pop up very often. So I'm going to say that really I would say it fits in between, it looks to me to be basically a 185 scale heli. I'm not going by blade length or anything like that. I'm just going by, you know, how it matches up against a 200 size heli. And as you can see, that boom is, you know, comes out quite a bit more than it does on the Apache. So anyway, that just gives you a good idea. I think I got all the angles good. So we'll get that out of the way. Put that on the floor so I can step on it later. And we'll come back, and now I want to do digress back to the battery for these. And the problem is, since these batteries aren't being made anymore, and all the used ones are basically going to be shot right out of the package. They're going to be dead on arrival. When I got this, it came with it brand new in the little tab box thing that, you know, has like the little clear window that you can put up on a hanging display. Right out of the box, one of the batteries was at 272, and one of the cells rather was at 272, and the other one was at 310. So it was shot brand new out of the box. So I'm thinking, what the heck am I going to do now? They don't make them. I'm going to have to find something that fits. And hopefully there are other Blade Apache owners out there who have run into this same problem, which I did a post on RC groups saying, or asking rather, if anybody had, hey, how have you guys been flying your Apaches when the original E-flite 2S 7.4 volt 30C 400 mAh battery is shot? And nobody responded to me. So I started looking around on eBay and typing in 2S 7.4 400 milliamp. Didn't even worry about the C rate. And I did some more searching. I looked on Amazon as well, and I found, lo and behold, it is not, of course, made by E-flite, but I found a 7.4 volt 400 milliamp 2S 30C battery. And comparably, you can see that, let's see the difference in sizes right there. The new battery is actually a little shorter. It's a little bit higher. I can't really get a good angle on this. It's just a little taller than the old battery. And it's, but the width also is shorter. So length and width this way, back forth, is actually this battery smaller. But this is a 0.50. It's like a ½ inch. This is 0.74, somewhere around there. And so I was worried a little bit about the height, but it's a smaller battery. Overall, it is a smaller battery, and I decided to be the guinea pig on this and say, hey, it's 2 of them for like, I think the cheapest I found them. You'll want to just type that in. I'll put it in my description. I'll leave a link to both Amazon and where I found them on eBay. eBay seems to have them a little bit cheaper. You can get them for about $18 shipped. Amazon is around $22 shipped, and you get 2 of them. And that's really not a bad price. I think the cheapest I actually did see them for was like $16.65 for 2, but that was before shipping and tax and all that stuff. Anyway, it's a great price, and you can't complain about that. So again, I'll put this in front of you guys again. I'm sorry for doing this once again, but that way you get an idea, what it looks like. Probably should put it here in a little more light, so that way you can see what I'm looking at. Trying to focus it in. I think you get the idea. And definitely, like I said, I'm going to leave the link. So how does it fit? That's the next thing. I found the exact way they should go in, and how the canopy actually closes very nicely. It was a complete, like I said, it was a test. I didn't know if it was going to work. I just decided, what the heck? Nobody else is trying this. Nobody's giving me any info. Everybody says we're all in the same boat you are in the RC Groups post, and other people that have hit me up. So let's give it a go here. These things are not user friendly whatsoever, but as you can see, that's how they're laid out inside. And I'm not even going to put the old battery in it, because it's just, there's no need to. But they are a tight fit, because like I said, the old battery was actually wider, and the length is more. The length is larger, so, or longer, I should say. But as you can see, the JST connector is right here, and the wires are on, power wires for the motor are on this side. I found that if you take this battery and you flip it like this, okay, and now you have your JST connector as well as your battery balancer lead. You keep it out this way. Let's see if I can make this a little better. Sorry for the length of this video. As you guys know, I'm long-winded, and that's just the way it is. If you take this battery balancer and you put it underneath, since it does have, it's not as long as the old battery, and you slip it underneath here. Since this battery is brand new, you're gonna have to work the wires a little bit, but you can see. Keep this JST out of the way. Be able to get that balancer, get that balance lead underneath the motor a little ways, and it simply presses right in. And there you go. You have your fit. It's going to be a little lopsided, but you can take care of that. Just like I said, the batteries, you got to work the battery cords a little bit. But as you can see, it just really drops right in for the most part. All that tucks up underneath. Now you have a clean actual connection. Because a lot of times what the problem I could see with other people, you know, what they were having with the stock battery was all these wires crammed in here. By the time you would get it put in underneath the hatch just didn't want to go down. And here, as you can see, it's a clean, get in there real close, you can see the battery connector, I mean the balance connector underneath the motor now. And it's not touching the motor, so it's not going to get hot or melt or any of that other stuff. I've already, like I said, I've already flown this twice trying to figure out what's wrong with it, with this battery, and it comes out perfectly fine. The battery's a little warm when it comes out, but that's it. And so I think I've solved the problem for everyone, including myself, as to which battery fits these, what new battery fits these old Helis. They stopped making them around 2014 or 2015. And when the original price was $199, I believe, for the bind and fly, and $229 for the ready to fly. Now, people are probably going, okay, well, that's great. How does the hatch fit? And I'll show you. We'll plug it in. Make sure you get black to black here, obviously. And okay. This battery, I haven't really used. It's the other one that I've used a couple of times, so the wires are a little, you know, a little more pliable. But as you can see, it's going on like that. It all fits in there. And you're thinking, maybe it's a little too wide, but no, you just twist the wires a little bit, kind of work with them. Push them down in there on the one side. Just kind of get a little bit better. As I said, since they're stiff, you're going to have to kind of mess with them a little bit. But here we go with the hatch. And it's just this simple. Watch it not work out for me this time. Pinch it this side. Get it up on there. This side's a little high. It hasn't fit in that tab. And there you go. It looks just like it did without the, like I said, you still have this little thing that sticks up, but you can see that it goes down. It's not a problem of the battery getting in the way or the wires. It's just the way this particular hatch is not sealing on there. Being a used Heli, I don't know if this guy may have planted it. I think he probably did. He probably did crash it at some time, at some point. And that's the reason why I'm having problems with only being able to hover it at best, because it just wants to come straight down. Once it gets up, then the power, all of a sudden, it feels like it just goes out. It's like, you know, the next thing you know, it wants to just come straight down. And I have to just gun it for as much as I can, put it at full throttle, and it's like a huge deadband the whole time. So I know, like I said, it's going to be probably the receiver / 4-in-1 with the dual ESC. There's going to be something wrong in there, or the motor. Either way, I'm prepared to tear it apart, find out what's wrong, and get it flying like it did when it was brand new out of the box. It's just going to take me some time. But as you can see, everything fits. That's the great thing. Look, there's no popping off of the canopy or anything. It's just all still solid. Like I said, there's this tiny gap. And I believe it's on the other side too. But it's, again, that's basically as good as these things really fit. You can see the wires in there, and they're not touching the motor, as you can still see. And the motor has room, the wires have room, and there's plenty of room in the canopy, as you can see, to it's not bulging like up straight out, you know, or anything like that. So it does actually work. I know this is a long video, and as you guys know, I don't edit anything, so it's just going to be in its raw form. But I think that this is a very viable solution. Again, I will put the Amazon link and also the link that I found on eBay to this battery. So that way, for those of you that have Apaches, the old Blade AH-64 micro heli can get them flying again, since maybe all of your batteries are dead. This just brings new life in them. They're identical in the way of the milliamps, everything. It's a 2S, it's a 30C, it's 400 milliamps. It's as, you know, and as I said, it's smaller. It's just a tiny bit taller, but as you can see, there are no problems with that. Anyway, I hope you guys found this helpful. I would love to go out there and fly this for you. But it's just not gonna happen because, like I said, at the moment, this heli is just not. While it is flyable, it's very, very handicapped in the air until I find out what's going on. So, again, everybody, I hope you liked this video, and please put a thumbs up if you liked it, and please also, if you have any questions of any kind, please feel free to ask me, and I'll try to answer them the best as I can. And please subscribe. I've noticed that I've gotten, I had 5 or 6 subscribers last time, and now I have 10. So it is getting better. I'm happy about that. Please keep it up, guys. And again, thank you so much for hanging in there with me on this sort of size / battery info video that I'm doing here for the old AH-64. And you have a nice day. Thank you.